Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit here, back again with Kuroko no Basket, Season 1. We're on Episode 17, and in the last episode we began our match with Toho Gakuen, which someone did actually confirm to me that Gakuen is actually Academy, so I actually got that right out of just, thin air. I basically just pulled it out of, nothing. I just assumed that, Gakuen, because I'd seen it in other teams as well, so I assumed that it must be something that can obviously carry across, and Academy just seemed like the right thing, but it was just a guess at the end of the day. But yeah, so it has been confirmed that that is actually Academy. So it's, Toho Gakuen, or Toho Academy, which is obviously the team that Aomine plays for. So yeah, we're on to our third Generation of Miracles player. So yeah, I think this one's going to be an interesting one, to say the least, because, as I've said, obviously, previously, that I just don't think this is a match that we can get a win against. And that is basically just, it's kind of cemented the fact that they're not going to get a win due to what happened at the end of last episode, where Toho Academy were, beating them before Aomine even showed up. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, this is going to be... This could be a disaster, but we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, I mean, the thing is as well, Kagami is not really working at 100%. You know what I mean? So that's obviously something else to take into account. That one dunk that he did have, he came down, landed on his leg, and felt that he had to go off for at least a quarter, I believe, because we're only at the halfway point of the game now, right? So. He had to come off for a quarter, and Rico basically wrapped him up and everything like that to send him back out. She was talking about how she was sorry because that she feels as though she can't bring out everyone's potential on the Serene team. So essentially, she's relying on Kagami. And Kagami was like, "That's all bullshit. You do a hell of a lot of work. You're our coach." And then when all seemed like we were about to get back in the game, Aomine showed up. So, yeah, and that's where it ended. So I'm guessing we're going to see Aomine get right into the game here. Their coach, the Toho coach, said that you're going straight in. So, yeah, I don't think they're playing around. So I guess we just get into episode 17 and see what we get with Aomine. So, yeah, if you do actually want to go watch the reaction... I can even speak English there. If you do actually want to go watch the reaction, the link is in the description below to the 10-minute version. There's also the link to the full length there. If you do want that as well, then the offer is there for you. But yeah, nothing else really to talk about, so we're going to get episode 17 and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Episode 17. Wow. I don't know really what I was expecting from... Aomine, in particular. I figured that he must have had some innate, dribbling ability just because of the nature of, how Kagami's kind of played in the past. And also just the fact of, because it is pure, individual skill for that team. And also, I apologise if you can hear, construction shit going on. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I wouldn't be able to see out there anyway because the sun's, blaring in, so... I'll just be blind if I looked outside there. But anyway, yeah, so that was insane. That definitely the best animation of the show so far. That was nuts. That was crazy because they have to animate it so smooth just to give that, because of how fast he is, moving the ball, not just the ball, but also his body movements and everything like that. I love the fact that they drew him so smoothly. You know what I mean? It's almost like they upped the frame rate for specifically his movements. This is really, really cool. Really, really cool. And he made that behind the backboard shot as well. So that is a rule then, I guess, that must it must be a thing that if you are in midair whilst carrying the ball, but technically, you're over the line. As long as you don't touch the floor with the ball, then I guess you're fine there. I mean, it must be, because, that counted, so... But it's interesting, because that's something that I didn't know. And also, like, I mean, they must have changed their strategy, Serene, because they ended up just having people back. I guess, like, in a way, they're just like Toho were doing that strategy of the isolation thing, where they're keeping all to one side of the court, or basically just keeping as far away from Aomine as they can to give him essentially just free reign of the court and just do whatever he wants to do. I think almost in the same vein, I think Serene's matching that as well, because with having 3 go up to try and stop Aomine from scoring, you know what I mean, they would have had to have been that far away. And the thing is that Kagami's up for it as well, like more than I would have like expected, due to like the nature of how come, like, you know, he isn't at 100%, but he's going for it. You know, and that's the thing, is like what I said during the reaction, that I don't know how good of an idea this is. I mean, it just sucks that it happens to be Toho the first game, right? Because I don't know how long the matches are in between each other, you know? I doubt it's going to be a case of, like, they have another game after this, like, you know, similar to how the semi-final and the final worked for the prelims. I don't think it's going to be like that. I think it's going to be a separate days, but it's a case of, like, because Kagami isn't at 100% now, you're just aggravating that injury. You know what I mean? So, with Kagami going, like, all out just to try and keep up with Aomine, which is clearly what's happening, it could be a case of it'll end up being worse than what it was after the match with Shutoku. So, you know, and then it could be a case of he just has to be out for, or at least not be able to play the full match against whoever's next. And that's the thing as well I was saying, is like, they can afford a loss here, but they have to get pretty much a win against the other 2 in order to advance. So, yeah. I mean, the thing is that because there's 4 teams, technically you can lose twice and still go through, as long as they get the win against the 4th team, right? So we'll just have to wait and see, because I mean, I'm gonna hazard a guess that it's Senshinkan who's going to be the other tough one, and whoever the other one, I think it's like, what's like Mets something, isn't it? Meisei, don't know who that is. I'm gonna have to fucking shut the window because that fucking drill, whatever the fuck they're doing, is doing my head in. So yeah, Kuroko's been benched for now after the first half, due to the whole thing of him losing out on his efficiency. Which, yeah, I mean, makes sense, because, you know, that I'm actually surprised that hasn't been something that's been brought up until now, considering, like, the amount of games that they had. Because I remember, like, I feel like for every match that they've played, at least, like, you know, the main ones, I've pointed out that, oh, this could be the game where we see that effectiveness drop, and it never has. It never even did against Shutoku, right? But then again, he was out for a bit in that as well. So I guess it's just a case of, is there ever going to be a match where Kuroko does play the full match itself, and then we see the effectiveness drop? Because as of right now, we haven't really seen Kuroko's effectiveness drop. I mean, we had Azuki say in this episode that he saw his effectiveness start to drop a bit, but like, is that just because he's got eagle eye and he can definitely see it, like, more? You know what I mean? He can see it in detail what's happening. But I mean, you know, we've never really seen, because there's never been like a specific, like, few frames of like wherever, if Kuroko's on screen and he would try out like a pass, but then somebody that you wouldn't expect, you know, stops it, or intercepts it, or steals it, or whatever. And that doesn't really matter for what's his name, who plays for Shutoku. Is it Tako? Yeah. Because obviously he with that Hawkeye that he has, you know what I mean, it just ended up working best against him. But we've never really seen Kuroko's effectiveness really drop because of the amount of time that he's had on the court itself. You know, and I mean, I think it's inevitable that he's going to be coming back onto the court. Whether it's just for the last quarter or not, we don't know. But I mean, Kisei seems to believe that, you know, with Kagami's, you know, the fact of, like, his progression in the game, like, he just keeps upping his levels, like, so quick, you know. He's growing fast, Kagami. And it always seems to be just because he's playing with better players. And it's just, like, the better the player he plays against, like, the more growth he seems to have. You know what I mean? And even, like, if you're just talking about, like, the story of him throughout a game anyway, that's how he generally plays. Like, you'll never start strong, but he'll just, like, over the course of the game, he'll get better and better and better, because you have that opponent that's driving you to try harder, you know what I mean? So, yeah, you can never say that Kagami's not working hard for it, because he really is. And, like, really just the opposite of that with Aomine not trying hard. But then, like, now he's starting to up his game. It's almost, it is like he really does want... it's like, I'm wondering if Aomine is saying that. If he's, like, now saying that Kagami's, like... As Aomine tries harder, Kagami does as well. And he had that one moment where, when Aomine went for the fadeaway, and Kagami was, like, you know, he tried to swipe at it, and he was, like, just a little bit too late. That, like, that at that moment, Aomine was like, "Fuck, Jesus!" He was like, "Hold on, what's going on here?" So he's starting to notice Kagami's potential here, you know, and what he can be capable of. But I mean, Aomine is he's so agile, man. He's really, really quick off the mark. So I mean, that's how he's able to get back. I mean, I mentioned that obviously during the reaction as well. But yeah, one of the, I don't know if it was Hyuga or someone like that said that he was off balance after the first, like, when he first came in, he tried to get that first point when he came on, and Kagami stopped it. Aomine was just taken aback, and that he when he landed, he almost, like, landed back on his heels, and you know what I mean? And at that point, Kagami was already away, so Aomine would have had to turn off of that after being off balance and still make it back quick enough to stop him, which he did. So yeah, he's very, very quick. So yeah, I mean, he said he was going to make all his shots as well after the break after the first half. So he said he was going to make all his shots in the second half, which as of right now he has done. Now, if we're talking about what Kisei thinks is going to happen, where he thinks Kagami's going to be able to do something here, then it could be a case of him stopping, like, his, like, at least a couple of his shots, I would imagine, which, you know, would basically prove Aomine wrong, because he's so confident that, you know, I'm going to get all my shots, that just even stopping one, even if they decimate them by like 30 plus points, the fact that he was proven wrong just in that, I think would piss Aomine off that he didn't get all of his shots. But, like, I mean, I feel like it's just like that weird dynamic of, like, being proven wrong, but, you know, at the end of the day, he wants that rival, doesn't he? He wants that opponent that can match him. So yeah, it must be a weird feeling for Aomine, I feel like. But yeah, I mean, Kuroko had said as well, as one of my questions was last episode, was Aomine the only one that hadn't grown since Teiko, because of obviously the lack of practice that he really puts into it, because he wants people to catch up and stuff. But Kuroko said that, you know, that he will have done, or at least, like, it was like an anime confirmation. Like, if an anime points something out, you can kind of bet 99.9% of the time it does mean something. You know what I mean? Even if the character themselves say something that's not, it can't be considered a confirmation, because how would Kuroko know? You know what I mean? He hasn't seen him since Teiko, so how would he know? But because he said it, let's be honest, it does mean that Aomine has grown. And at a point where Kuroko doesn't know the limit either. And that was even before. Like, even in Teiko, he didn't even know the limit that Aomine was at. So that's a scary thought. And I mean, even here, like, almost after every time Kagami tries to get Aomine back, Aomine is, like, stepping it up just a little bit more and a little bit more, you know what I mean? And I think the idea is what Aomine is doing there is he's not going full out. He's like, it's like he is upping his game slightly and saying it's almost like questioning Kagami, saying like, all right, can you match me on this or not? It's like he's trying to test what Kagami's limit is at. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what he's doing there. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of Aomine's thing, isn't it? Is like not just not trying, but only going at the level that he needs to in order to get the win. Like, he's not, you know. But then I guess really that kind of works for... It's different for Aomine because he needs to bring his down. But I don't think it's like in the case of the other Generation of Miracles, like, you know, Midorima or Kisei, that, like, of course, if someone is giving you trouble, you just up your game a little bit more, you know what I mean? Even if you feel like you've reached your limit, sometimes you can just go beyond that, and you just don't know. But yeah, I mean, the fact that, like, Aomine, we haven't seen his full range yet, it's a scary thought, because as of right now, he's too much for Kagami. Kagami's trying his best, and we just need him to get, like, work harder. But I mean, still, like, I honestly don't know if there's anything that can, like, take that smile off of Kagami's face. Like, I really don't. I mean, I guess realistically, the only thing that could be is what, like, I don't know. Like, if there was a player that, like, could come in and just decimate their team 100-0, I don't, unless, you know, which is obviously is not going to happen. But, like, I'm just trying to just picture this whole thing with Kagami. Is like, it doesn't matter how good the opponent is that he goes up against. He's always smiling because of it, because he just likes that challenge. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got. I mean, I guess the last thing is the ace, which, yeah, I mean, I didn't even think of that as using that as the term. But yeah, I guess it makes sense, doesn't it? It's like that's the one, because it's, you know, it's like the ace in the hole. It's like the one that is quite clearly the best player, and the one that's going to get you the most points. It's generally, again, you know, if I'm bringing up IQ, that's it. You know what I mean? Yeah, ace is the one that's destined to get the shots. So yeah, insane. So yeah, I'm excited for the next episode as well then, to see what more Aomine can do. But yeah, I mean, they really, like, I guess for like the first season, there obviously has been like a couple moments like where like the art has been completely off base, but then you generally expect that with the first season of something, right? It's normally like they put out the first season as a kind of feeler season where, you know, like, people will watch the anime and then, depending on how well it goes down, they'll have like a budget increase for the second season. And people, you know, I've had people in the comments that say that is the case, you know what I mean? But I mean, I tell you what, if this is what they were like, you know, because they've had some like very nice sort of animation and art in places like earlier on in the season, but they must have definitely, like, you know, split the budget so that most of it was obviously coming up towards the end, which is generally how it works anyway, isn't it? Because that's where your most interesting stuff starts coming. So yeah, anyway, that's all I've got. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below, I've linked to certain things. One of them is the Discord, so you can get yourself over there if you wish. And I also have a Patreon page as well, so if you do want to support me on Patreon, that'd be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of different tiers and rewards there, like early access for $5 a month, gives you access to shows a week early. So that means episode 18 will obviously be coming out at the same time as this, but you can get access to episode 19 and episode 20 right now. So yeah, go and enjoy that if you do want to. There's also the tier for full length, which is $10 a month, gives you access to shows in full and not just the 10-minute version. And there's the exclusive tier as well, which will give you access to movie reactions when I start reacting to movies and things like that. Okay, so go and enjoy those if you wish. But yeah, that's all I've got, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.